Montreal and Toronto are two Canadian cities pressuring Ottawa to ban handguns and assault rifles. The ban would not apply to police, military, or other authorities. Toronto's City Council passed a motion to ask Ottawa to implement a ban after the tragic shootings of the Danforth. Montreal is considering a similar motion. Prime Minister Trudeau says he's listening to the concerns of Canada's two largest cities. However, the Canadian Association of Police Chiefs says Canada's gun control laws are already strong enough. Others say a ban would do no good. Now, we are joined right now by Danielle Smith from 770 CHQR to continue the conversation on this story. And Danielle, these proposals come after this shooting in Danforth. We know that a semi-automatic pistol was used in that case. But I guess to what degree are the pistols that are being used here even legal handguns anyway?
Well, and this is where the big confusion lies. Our colleague Matt Gurney did a great column last week because in the wake of the Danforth shootings, you had an inspector at the Toronto Police Service, Rob D. Danielle, say, well, in fact, we've seen a surge in locally sourced guns being used for criminal activities. The implication is you've got legally owned handguns and firearms. Somebody breaks in, steals them, they get onto the black market, and then they're used to commit crimes. And so Matt Gurney went in search of this great surge and found out that it just wasn't true. So you've got officials from law enforcement actually giving misinformation out to the public to try to control the direction of this debate and it looks like create the momentum for a handgun ban. In point of fact, very few guns that are ever used in crime are ever tracked back to an original owner, which means that most of them are coming here illegally. In fact, interestingly, very few are even tracked to the United States either, which means that we might be seeing a surge of guns coming in from somewhere other than the United States. So, and then the third part is that most handguns in Canada are already, number one, registered. And over the years, they've continued to put increasing numbers of handguns into a prohibited category, which means that unless somebody else has that same status as you, once you've moved on, once you've died, they're not allowed to own it. They end up getting returned for amnesty and destroyed. So this notion that we can solve all of our criminal gang problem, and that's where a lot of the violence is coming from, by banning the legal ownership of firearms, there's not a lot of evidence to it. But I'm going to try to talk to both sides of the debate today anyway. Wendy Kukier with the Coalition for Gun Control, and then Dennis Young, who was instrumental in finding some of the stats behind those rogue statistics. And we're going to see if we can get into it today.
Definitely worth a conversation. Okay, thank you very much, Danielle.
My pleasure.